Zep, what do you think about, I guess, the big topic last week after the game and coming into this week is Jalen Williams and his status for Saturday, his status for the rest of the way. What are you hearing, and what do you think Auburn will do lineup wise if he's not able to go the next 2 weeks?
Well, if he's not able to go the next 2 weeks, I think it'd be one of those things that, Janai play extra minutes. Shaney will get more minutes, maybe can get his confidence up. Because it'd be one of those things that while Jalen is out, it could be, one of those great things that he gets more confidence, work on his game out there, and just, coming from a D2 and going to a D1 is pretty tough, more physical. SEC is one of the best leagues in college basketball. So, maybe give Chris Moore some chance at the four, which he played some of the four when I was there last year. So, I think guys have to accept a bigger role with Jalen being out because Jalen is a key point to the team. He's actually like he's the main focal point of the team because without Jalen, it kind of throws things off. So I think we need guys like KD Johnson to score more. Um, Denver Jones to step up and get a bigger role. Because we got a tough stretch. I think we got Tennessee, Georgia. I think Georgia's looking to win a game. They're trying to stay in that race to make the
Right.
tournament because they lost a couple games. So those type of teams they're scared to play against. So and they know with one of our top players out, they're gonna try to do their best to, stop Janelle in the paint.
Yeah, I think Georgia's 5-8 in the conference coming into this weekend. So you think they just try to slide somebody into that four spot? They don't try to go smaller and out quick people.
I think what they'll put Chris Moore at the four and move either Chris Moore or Shaney at the four, and just those two guys be the four. Maybe Chad Baker Mazar go to the three and Chris Moore go to the four. It
Hmm.
just depends on what they want. But like I said, it's gonna be one of those things that guys are gonna have to step up. Like Jalen brings so much to the table. He's a quiet guy, but he just does so much out there, and he's just one of those players that we need guys to step up without him being out there.
Kevin, I know this is a big weekend for Auburn. The Georgia game. Tell me your thoughts on this weekend, and what you're thinking on the lineup, and I know you have some questions for your good buddy Zep there.
Yeah, I think it would be huge to get a win. We've had a week off. I know we lost Jalen to injury, but from Saturday to Saturday, those guys are going to rest. They're going to regroup. I think Bruce gave them a couple days off. Let's get this win at Georgia. See if we can do that. And then, we're at Tennessee. I don't know how that'll go, but we're home to Mississippi State, at Missouri, who hasn't won a game in the SEC, and then we end with Georgia at home. So if we could get a win this weekend at Georgia, that would be great. Zep, I want to know more about you. You mentioned off Zoom before we started the noise that happens between people like us that talk about sports, the fans. You were in the locker room. You mentioned earlier that y'all try to not hear that noise. Talk
Mm.
about what that's like, hearing all this noise. We should have beaten Kentucky. We should have done this. All these people that think they know what they're talking about. And then there's
Mm.
you guys in the locker room that are together, stay strong together. Talk about that locker room bond.
Well, I think it's like, once you see those things on Twitter, you see Auburn fans, just disappointing in losing. I think of it like sometimes you gotta lose to figure out the things you need to do to succeed, in basketball. So you got guys on the team that needs people to have that confidence. The only thing they rely on is their family and friends to give them key points to be how can they be better, but they're not in the film room. They don't see what happens inside the practices or none of that. Just one of those things that when you have slumps, you need everyone. You need everyone to give you that confidence to get you back to where you need to be. So like I said, you got a couple guys on the team that's in slumps, and I was one of those guys that was in their shoes before, and I used to see a lot of things, but I always look at it and told myself that I was never going to be worried about those things because I feel like once my shots start going in, it's going to go in, And once they start going in, I'm never gonna look back. But you know, when you always on fire, people love you. When you cold, they hate you.
But
So it's one of those things that you just gotta rely on yourself. You gotta rely on your work, your trust, your work ethic. And you gotta make sure your coaches are also depending on you also, because you never know when you're gonna need a player, and you never know when you're gonna need the player to step up.
yeah, I was going to say that's bad in some respects and good in some respects. It's kind of what Coach Pearl has built at Auburn. That
Mhm.
the Auburn fans, the Auburn family, they want to win every game now, and we're 9-4 in the conference. And people they kind of get disappointed if you lose to Mississippi State or Kentucky. So that's a good and a bad thing, I guess.
I would say it's a good and a bad. You can't win every game, being realistically. With me playing on that 2022 team, no, 21-22 team with Jabbar and Walker, we had two five-star McDonald All-American guys. We still lost games, even though we was the regular season champs. But it's proof that you're gonna lose games. People make game plans. People figure out how to stop you. And you're gonna have nights where you just can't make shots at all. I remember playing Texas A&M. I think we was most definitely the favorites to beat Texas A&M that year. And when I tell you we was cold, I think we had like 10 points in 13 minutes. One of the worst shooting nights we ever played ever since I've been in Auburn. So Auburn family, we can't win every game, but just be relaxed because we're in the race to still win the SEC regular season champions. And I feel like we have a great chance. We have to win this Georgia game. We have to win this Tennessee game, which the Tennessee game is going to be a confidence builder game because without Jalen, those guys are physical. Those guys are tough. They have good players from 1 through 5. So I feel like that'd be the toughest game coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it will be tough. It will be physical, and we may not have Jalen for that one. So I know one of the things we've been talking about, Kevin, is Aiden Holloway and his role on this ball club. We were talking about that a little bit off the air, but um, during this time when Jalen is out, maybe you're talking about a five-star guy, like you mentioned, Zep, and a guy who's been going through a little tough time. Maybe this is a time, Kevin, for him to step up and show what he can do.
Yeah, we've talked all year. I mean, this guy's a five-star basketball player. He has confidence. He was averaging 17 points a game earlier in the season. Right now, he's going through a tough slump. He hasn't been able to hit shots, whether it's three-pointers, two-pointers, but I think Zep would probably agree, and you can talk about this too, Zep. Shooters got to shoot, especially when you walk into the gym and you're in range. Eventually it's going to go down. We got to keep supporting him. He's got to keep shooting. I'm sure he's doing the work when nobody's watching. Zep, talk about that a little bit about what your maybe conversation you have with him or any advice you would give him.
My advice would be, block out the noise. Try to get that confidence back. Try to get your game to where you want to be, to have it where you just block everyone out. Because he's a great shooter. I would think he's the best shooter on the team. A great leader, a great person. He always put the team before himself. He's one of those guys. Is one of the nicest people on earth, and I believe in him so much. Because he was waking up 6, 5 in the morning, working on his game, coming in at night, working on his game, and I just feel like he's gonna have one of those games that he just catch fire because he's so hard on himself because he can't believe he's in this slump. But like I say, a lot of people don't see what he does off the court, or on the court in practice or staying after practice to make sure he's to get back on that right point.
Zeb, tell me about this ball game this weekend against the Georgia Bulldogs. I know you're from Georgia. You're in Augusta now. When you were at Auburn, and even now talking to your buddies over there, what is this few days like going into the Georgia game? How much trash talk is there going on?
I think those Georgia guys respect Auburn pretty much. So I don't think it'd be no trash talk. But like I say, Georgia's hungry. They're super hungry. They want to win. They want to win this basketball game against a great Auburn basketball team. Because Mike White, he's trying to stay in that race. He wants to make the tournament. This will be his second year there. They paid him a lot of money to get them back on track to get them where they want to be. But our guys, they have to be locked in because, like I say, Jalen Williams is our key point of our team. It kind of takes away from our team because if he's hurt, it's like our guys have to step up. And I don't know our percentages of 3-point percentages or how we shot the ball on the outside, but it's just one of those things that we have to shoot well on the road. Or is it a road game?
Yes.
It is.
It's
Yes.
a road game, so we have to shoot well on the road. We don't have a good road record, against SEC teams right now. So, I just look at it as one of those things that it's going to be a hostile environment. They're going to come playing super tough, super hard, and we just need this game. I don't care if we win by 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be a key game because, like I said, Tennessee's next after Georgia, it's like you're going into one of the hottest teams in the country, which is Tennessee. And like I say, they're a tough, physical, defense-minded team, push you on rebounding, like hit you with elbows, like no dirty type players, but that's just how they play. They play super tough. So this Georgia game, we have to win without a doubt.